Hello everyone, thanks for coming outside with me today. Today I would like to give my comprehensive review on the Maven B.1 and C.1 series binoculars. I've been super excited to have these binoculars all spring and summer so far, taking them on many turkey hunts, scouting trips, as well as a couple 3D courses. So these binoculars are premium binoculars and they do carry a premium price. It's about $950 United States dollars for the B.1 line and about $350 United States dollars for the C.1 line, but although they do carry a little bit higher price tag, they are not by any means outlandishly priced in the world of binoculars, in particular in their respective classes. So I hope you enjoy this review and I hope it helps you make a better decision when it comes to buying a good pair of binoculars for you this upcoming year. Both the Maven B1 and C1 series binoculars have a tactile coating, a very slim design, and a very easy to hold profile. Both binoculars also boast over 89% light transmission, nitrogen purged internal workings, and tripod adaptability. Fully loaded with eye cup protectors and the shoulder strap, the C1s came in to 1 pound and 13 ounces. And the B1s came in at 2 pounds, nearly 3 ounces. Just for quality comparison, here's the pair of Simmons binoculars that I have been using for the past several years. As a dimensional comparison, you can really see the upgrade that I've had this spring and summer in comparison to the binoculars that I have been using. Also included is a pair of Vortex 8x42 optics, which would be similarly priced to the C1 line of Maven. These are also pretty roughly in size and also pretty roughly the same in quality, but I've found to retail for about $50 to $75 more than the C1s from the Mavens. I don't know if that means more bang for your buck, or if it means that the Mavens, budget-wise, are even a better option. Let's take a look at the controls. It's nothing different than you would expect on a regular pair of binoculars. You have your focus knob, which is different on the B1 and the C1 in terms of its texture. In this case, on the C1 it is finer. All the adjustments are stiff but yet incredibly workable. You definitely want everything to move when you want it to, but you definitely don't want things to move when you don't want them to. Both the B1s and the C1s boast 4-position adjustable eye cups, which has been fantastic for adjusting eye relief regardless of whomever is using the binoculars at any given time. They also don't move, which is really nice when you hit them and bump them off things. Unfortunately, I don't have a device to show you through these binoculars through the camera's eye, but these things are incredibly clear. Also, with the aid of a tripod, you can make them even steadier while in the field by removing the screw in the front of the binoculars. Although not something I would probably utilize very often, it's a nice feature to have. Of course, the controls of the C1s are identical to the B1s, but call me crazy, I actually like the way the dials on the C1s are a little bit more textured than those of the Bs. Now, it didn't make it any less stiff or any smoother, but just personally, even with a pair of gloves on, I found these a little bit easier to use while in the woods and on stand. This is especially true of the tripod plug, which on the B1s is not actually textured, whereas this one has a knurling to it, allow easy removal. Although most people will opt to swap out the neck strap for a 4-point harness or a binocular case on the chest, I actually found the stock strap to be incredibly comfortable and easily worn for all-day use. However, my preferred method for using it, and the strap ended up being just the perfect length for me, was for the 3D course, tucking it away to the side so I can shoot my bow. Also, even though the strap was incredibly comfortable for over-the-neck use, it allowed the binoculars to really flop around when I was walking, and that did get annoying. However, with the underarm carry off to the side, it would ride perfectly right off my hip, staying out of the way for all of the course. Where Mavens really shine, though, is when the light outside is not shining. So here I am, it's July, it's 8:52 at night right now, it's definitely getting dark. I could put these up on a tripod, but it's just a lot easier to drive around in my car. I can spot several does out in this field. This is one of my favorite fields to hunt in. Approximately right now, we're about, I want to say 250 yards. I'll have to check that later on X Maps. I'll have to map that out. We're about 250 yards from them right now, and they're showing up plain as day. I mean, like I said, it's almost 9 p.m. right now. Using a good pair of binoculars when the light gets low is crucial. Also, I'm not much of a gun hunter, but I can tell you here in Pennsylvania, the hunter density and the hunting pressure is so high that when we get to that end of our 2-week-long rifle season, those deer are moving in the last 5 seconds of daylight, it seems like. And sometimes that deer is 100 yards away. I live in an area with antler restrictions. I have to have a 3 points up on one side in order for that to be a legal buck. And if I can't figure out if that deer has 3 points up on the side, I can't shoot it. So a good pair of binoculars is crucial because it can collect all that light, good clear glass. I can make the distinction whether that has those legal points and can let me know if I need to pull the trigger or not. For those of you that hunt out west, this is even more crucial because you can string a 2, 3, 4 day hunt together and you can chase the same deer for multiple days in a row, spot and stalk, finding, putting an elk on a bed, putting a mule deer on a bed, an antelope, something like that. If you are able to identify a buck, a shooter buck, that you're a shooter bull elk that you're willing to chase, and you can spot him at several hundred yards right at last light and go, okay, I know where he's probably going to go bed. We can attack him first thing in the morning. Having a good pair of binoculars can maybe make the decision between having a good hunt and a bad hunt. If you have a terrible pair of binoculars or you're trying just to observe with the naked eye and you can't observe in those last few seconds of light whether or not that deer is a shooter or something that you can go after, that big bull elk, that's the big beautiful 6x6 you want to chase, if you can't make that distinction, then you have this uncertainty of whether or not you can actually go after that animal, if it's worthy going after it, or even worse, you think it's a better animal, you end up going back in, going after, pursuing that animal, and you see it in broad daylight, and you're like, oh gosh, well, it's only a 3x3 or 4x4, not nearly as big as an antelope or a mule deer that I thought. Those of you that are going to invest in the hunt of a lifetime, it makes sense to also invest in a pair of binoculars for a lifetime. All in all, I have nothing but high praise for both the B.1 and C.1 line of binoculars. Of course, the B.1s carry a much higher price tag, which is to be expected because they have a little bit better quality of glass, a little bit more light gathering power, and I found, and particularly with a long-range glassing mission, either for turkeys in a large field during the spring season in broad daylight, or in particular during this summertime when I'm glassing long hay fields and crop pasture fields at night, that these have really good clarity out to 300, 400, 500 yards. I'm able to easily pick out velvet antlers on a deer. But like I said, of course you would expect that. It's got a higher price tag, but it is an incredibly well-built pair of binoculars, and I would strongly recommend them if you're looking for binoculars in this price range. The ones that really have me all fired up are these C.1 lines. These are binoculars that somebody like me would think about buying. For somebody like me, just kind of a run-of-the-mill archer, this is a premium pair of binoculars. The price tag, yes, it is steep, but it is a high-quality pair of binoculars. Guys wouldn't hesitate to spend $200, $300, $400 on a rifle scope that they use to hunt a couple weeks out of the year. So why wouldn't I spend that kind of money on a pair of quality binoculars with quality glass that I can use year-round for all different activities, and I can use safely for my kids, my wife, and myself. They're a little bit more compact in design. I really like them on the 3D course so far this spring and summer. They fit perfectly right off my hip. When I'm ready to use them, I can pull up. They're right there. When I'm ready to shoot, they go right back away. No problems there. I carted these around all spring turkey season, never had an issue just slinging them like this. This strap has been really comfortable. If I probably was going to go a little one step further, take them out west or take them for deer hunting, I'd probably want to get a chest pack so it'd be a little bit easier to take in and out and not kind of ride up here in my armpit for hours and hours at a time. So there are dozens of manufacturers out there trying to catch your eye for buying that next pair of binoculars, spotting scope, or rifle scope. I strongly recommend that you give Maven a shot. I have been nothing but impressed with both these binoculars. They also make a spotting scope, which is something that you don't see too much here in the Northeast, and particularly here in Pennsylvania. We got a lot of hardwoods country, but I'll bet if it's anything like these two, it's going to hit the ball right out of the park. So that's all for this video. If you have any more questions about Maven binoculars and what I've found this spring and summer so far, feel free to hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, send me a message here on YouTube. You can also just follow the link in the description below. It'll take you to the Maven Built website, and you can find all those answers for yourself. Hope you're able to get outside, enjoy the sport of archery hunting if you so choose. Definitely enjoy God's beautiful creation, and we'll get to see you next time.